We out here in DC, we just giving people the information, some of the information in regards to reparations, our justice claims, the reparations march that's going on tomorrow. We can letting people know about that. So, you know, we decided to come down a day early, you know, catch out the scene, you know, get some knowledge to the people. As you can see, we got this beautiful, you know what I'm saying, the situation behind us. So yeah, we down here, man. We just out here, we trying to get the people the knowledge, man. If a reparations event pop off, you gotta slide to it. See what it's hitting for. See who down there, see who around. Shout out to the people.
That violate all the social norms that were exacted on black folk back in the 1790s as this country began to move into an evangelical movement. And they decided in the 1790s that it's now permissible to have a black preacher or to have black folk invest themselves into a religious experience. And the establishment in this country says, yes, we will let blacks have their own separate services, but we must pick the minister. We must pick a minister that is controllable.
And we must tell him exactly what he's supposed to do. We will license the ministers. So by the 1720s, the entire establishment in this country is set up a system saying that any black minister in this country, he has an admonishment. He must teach black folk three things. And religion will become a control device to help us maintain the status quo of black folk in this country. He says every black minister who we select or we license, they must teach black folk. First of all, when you talk about the Bible, you talk about the master and the slave, you are talking about the white master learned from the black slave. You must certainly teach black folk to be humble and obedient and accept their life lot. Whites in America right now, 100%.
Thank you.
You must teach black folk that they will get theirs in the hereafter, in pie in the sky. And that went into effect in the 1820s, and every black minister fell in the line and did it. And they stayed like that until after the Civil War, when 119 blacks on October the 19th walked into St. Paul's Church, Baptist Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, and says, we can't take it anymore. As black folk, the suffering is too acute. And said we must at least have 40 acres and a mule or something. You cannot just turn us loose free and say we're free and give us non-economic emancipation where we are pennilessly, poor, impoverished, sick, broken, busted, uneducated, ignorant, homeless, nothing, and say we are now free.
You know, you want to know about the reparations claim that's owed to black Americans, the freemen. Let's talk about reparations today. I got 25 hours, nobody can beat me in the debate on reparations. Everybody out here today that want to know about the reparations claim that's owed to the American freemen. So when we do, we're going to have a magnificent time. How you doing, man? You want to learn about the claim?
I can't right now, I'm sorry.
We need everything. Like you know the reparations is coming, right?
In the UK, what we want to do is set up a fund for businesses. Then take all the children to business school. And then those businesses are funded by those funds. You can do it two ways, right? You can play the stock market at the same time as taking central money in. Any of those businesses that start to make money, they pay back 15% of their annual turnover to the fund. It replenishes itself. If you do a direct cash balance transfer, what tends to happen is the money flows back to the people who just gave it to you.
We want everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Cash payments, everything you just mentioned.
So that's the challenge, right?
You own all that. Can I throw this out there? So look, let's say this, right? Now, you say you're from London, right?
Yeah.
You from Brooklyn? What's that place called?
I'm from South London. That's
South London. There we go. Alright, so back, watch this now. You say me and we don't work together. Now, we don't work, but I'm not getting paid to
Yeah,
work.
I know, I understand.
You get what I'm saying? So then we can start adding up the
That's
time.
division of labor, we understand that.
So now we get to a point where it's though now I done made a colossal. I like to use drugs as analogies because that's just like to do that, right? So let's just take for example, right? I start off with 1P. So now I done started off with 1P. Now I done got to a point where I got 10 and 15.
Yeah, I understand.
But you the one that's doing. I'm doing the work. Hold on, wait.
So I get you.
Hold on.
I get you.
Let me get to 1,000. So once I get to 1,000, now I finally say, yo, you can go make your own money. And I'm already up 1,000 on you.
Yeah, of
so the
course.
whole thing is you gotta get that debt.
You always gonna have one arm time behind your back.
Somebody owe you. That's how you
So the challenge here is how do you take one arm time behind your back to two hands doing something? What I'm trying to explain is direct cash payments, when it's been done, money flows back. What you want to do is take the money. What, in our situation? No, that's true. That's true. But remember when the money got paid, they had an entire infrastructure to distribute that amongst themselves.
That's not fully true.
That's how they did it.
Wait, hold on, but let's go to it. So the Japanese who were interned,
Yes.
they created a few CDCs that they had, but
Yes,
you
they
don't see
did.
booming Japanese businesses around the nation.
They
Right.
use that back home.
Right, and what I'm trying to explain to you is not. See, what you saw was the Japanese, they received, those very few received the trauma that they received. Same thing with the Jews, so it wasn't the entire community. No. So what's happening here is that the people who's going to receive the reparations plan are direct descendants, which is a larger majority of blacks, but everybody that's black in America won't receive reparations. So if you have melanated skin, say if you just moved here last week, you'll be able to get it.
No, I understand.
But I'm saying, I gotta give it.
So take, no, and I get the example. So take for instance, right? I'm Jamaican. In there you got yeah. So my family got taken at 18 or 2, right? So we were in a bit boat with the boat. Molly went over to the Caribbean. 3 sisters, 2 brothers. They got plantation. 1956, my dad comes over to the UK, has me back, right? So
the land is very important. The land is the land will pay because right out of slavery, right into Reconstruction, we were able to put up a whole bunch of successful black Wall Street.
yeah.
So there was
They made sure that got taken.
Yeah, exactly.
They made sure that got
history
taken.
do you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say because you didn't even know what Juneteenth was.
No, I got no idea.
Yeah, but that's what we. So look,
No, I really don't.
So look, what happens is it becomes a teaching mechanism. So like, you wouldn't know war was going on that component.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we like, so like basically,
Perspective.
Even though it's cash involved, it is land that's involved, and there's also other things that's involved, the education that's involved. But we got to make sure that the cash is involved because without cash, it's not one of the 5 redresses of international reparations. It's 5 forms. You know the 5. You know the 5.
So I get the logic. I don't.
You gotta give me something that's a distinct logic.
No.
Oh, that's all.
My thing is,
It's a bomb.
the vehicle to grow that I'm interested in. Whenever I've seen cash, large amounts of cash distributed, it flowed back to the people
You gotta give an
who
example.
did it. So that's what I've seen. It flow back
But
to.
if we're in a debate, you gotta give an
Take for
example
instance,
of
right?
another claim.
You're familiar with the French, right?
Right.
So you know what the French did with the Algerians. You guys are aware of that?
They ordered reparations, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So the Algerians, they killed many of them. They gave them money back. They did. Within 3 to 6 months, that money was back with the French. And my problem is that if you did that, particularly in America, which is basically a consumer economy, you'd be giving
How much money
back.
did they receive?
Per GB capita?
So per person.
Oh,
How much-
no, I knew it was about 4%.
So how large
The economy at the time.
how large was the number of funds that they received from the French government?
Would have been about 3 years salary. We're going to pay you off. That kind of sounds like a class action. I agree with you.
That's the part
I
of
get
the
it.
point. Yeah. So I think
get
you're getting it though.
No, I don't.
No, we got you.
I
We
get
got
you.
you. Listen,
Yeah,
man.
I get you.
But
It's
the
just-
government structure.
It's the bit that you get. It's hard to explain.
Scared to death, man. They on that damn hill, man. The minister said when they get up on that hill, they'll just like we treat them like little children. Shut up and vote for what we want you to vote for. That's why we ain't got no reparations. That's right. John Conyers came up with the bill HR 40 over 30 years ago, and that was just to bring it up in committee to have a discussion. And every time, boy, shut it down. One more, man. Colorado.
And since we came out in the 60s, they told us we could vote and we
They
don't
rocked us to bed. They put these people as opportunists in front of us.
Yeah.
A lot of people they get lost in the sauce. The opportunists
All the time. All the time.
Real righteousness coming through. We understand
They're afraid of the black vote. And what we don't realize, the two most important things that black people have is purchasing power, because we don't save our money, we spend everything we get. But we spend it with the Arab and we spend it with the white.
That's the moral reparations. We get our reparations. We get our
reparations and they gonna go right back and get all that shit. I try to start much as I can. Yeah. I'm telling you, boy, if we just get together, I'm telling you, we could have our own black town. Stop selling out our land. I'm telling you, in my neighborhoods where I'm at, these white investors, every time they come, I say, get the fuck off my line. Ain't no gentrification. Don't call me. I'm telling you, don't call me about nothing I don't work and pay for. I'm not selling none of my land, so you can flip my land, and then we can't afford to come back.
Right.
And that's what they do. They buy our lands, throw a little fixings in them, then they flip the damn houses. The average income is $50,000, and you selling a house for $300,000.
For tomorrow's march, some information on separating from the system, but you're not gonna get you gotta participate in the system, but you gotta get out there too. Like I said, we are giving them information on tomorrow, March, October 16th, down in DC, giving people some information on reparations also. So, shout out to Howard University, man. We put up with a couple of students today. Gone by. Just pulled up. Like to check out this reparations march, the National Reparations League, see what they're here for. They got a couple good speakers going on today. We're gonna see what it's here for though. Shout out to DC, we just got free parking too, so you know the vibe. Shout out to Sundays.
We are out here to discuss our justice claim, what it is and what it isn't, and why it must be done. And fight to have them enforce the laws that are already on the books. We have been a protected class of citizen in this country. since the 1800s. We're the only ones who didn't know it. That's why they kept changing our names. Then we were Negroes, then we're coloreds, then we're Afro-Americans. Now we're African-Americans. And when I say this, I am not saying this to disparage anyone from the continent, but let's keep it a buck. My family hasn't been back to Africa for 500 years. Let's be more distinct about it. We are the only people in this country that were bred on slave breeding farms. That's where the term MFer comes from. You used to have children doing it to their mother to produce more slaves. You don't have to believe me, look it up and read it up. That's what reparations is for. Reparations is for chattel slavery, for unpaid forced labor, for torture, for brutality, for specific laws, policies, and set-asides that were for us. It made American freedmen, and I say this again, American freedmen a protected class of citizen. American freedmen come from the Freedmen Act. An American freedman is a Negro emancipated slave. His family, and by extension, their descendants. We can give you all the links and all the research that you want. Everybody is trying to identify us as the blacks. Yes, in the racial construct in America, we're black. But our actual political status is that we are American freedmen, just like AAPI, just like Hispanics or Latinos, just like Jewish. Nobody calls themselves by their race, but by their established political status. Am I right? Don't be afraid to stand on that. You're American freedmen. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ty Harper, United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. This particular march is sponsored by the National Reparations League, Be the Power, and the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, and Freedmen of the DMV. Sister Roz Mickens, she's right here with us. I also work with the NAASD and, of course, the National Reparations League, run by Rashad Singleton.
Y'all ready? We ready. We ready.
Black fist in the air. Black fist in the air.
We ready. We ready.
Family, thank you so much for coming out to the first National Reparations March. We had to get this done. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out tonight. Today. Brothers and sisters, as a 7-foot black man in America, I'm not supposed to be up here talking to you about reparations.
Wake it up.
I'm supposed to be talking to you about basketball. I'm supposed to be talking to you about how to rebound and how to dunk and play defense. They don't want powerful, strong black men talking about the liberation of the freedmen Americans of the United States. We were an okay nation in my youth, not understanding that our people is to this day being discriminated in housing, to this day be discriminated on the job, to this day is being discriminated in the banks. That's what happens when you don't own institutions. That's what happens when you don't own nationwide business.
No, sir.
No. What's going to bring us equality is the same thing that this country gave every other nation that they oppressed. Reparations, reparations, and reparations. Brothers, sisters, when you understand that this government gave slave masters $300 per slave release, when you read the work that they gave certain Native American tribes and they gave Japanese American reparations, then why the hell we ain't got reparations?
Wake it up.
And they would rather me be playing basketball right now than asking these questions.
Wake it up.
But the grandchildren of the civil rights, I don't think, oh, this is a great American city. I don't think this is a great city that white people have put up here. This is a great city that the freedmen ancestors built. Take a look at what we built. We did this, and we have not been compensated for it. So we're not gonna sit by and let any people disrespect our lineage, disrespect what's owed to us. You're either for reparations or you're against us. Reparations are owed, family. Reparations are due. We're not asking for a damn thing. We are demanding. I want Biden to hear you at the White House right now. We are not playing. I don't care if they're on the right side. I don't care if they're on the left side. If they're not for reparations, they're not on our side. A group of warriors is coming up, family. Take a look. A group of warriors is coming up, and reparations is the top issue. I know you want to save the white whales. I know you want to save the blue turtles. I know you're worried about climate change, but goddamn it, we're going to deal with reparations and we're going to deal with it now. This government called freemen of the United States 3/5 of a human being. But the worst thing you can try to do is put a black man in a box. They always tell you what you should be doing and what you could be doing and what we want you to do. Well, we here to tell the United States what they better do. We are here to say, in honor of the great Malcolm X, reparations of the bullet. Reparations of the bullet. What do you mean by that, Brother Rashad? When I say reparations of the bullet, we understand that white people in America only care about two things, and that's loss of life and that's loss of profit. Now, we're not going to advocate violence against anyone, but what we are going to do is hit white Americans where they don't want to get hit, and that's right here in their pockets. Any white person, any white business that does not support the reparation for the freedmen Americans will no longer get our support. From this day on, they will no longer get our support. Nike, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Walmart, every business that don't come out and publicly say we want reparations for the freedmen will no longer get our support. Family, I'm here to tell you as an athlete, as a professional athlete, that ain't enough. The worst thing they always try to do is say, well, you're a professional basketball player. There's no racism. Wake it up. What I came to understand is that you can't care about me if you don't care about my community. Wake it up. Just because you got a jersey on ain't gonna save Black America. Just because you jump 40 inches off the ground and you can block 10 shots a game, that's not gonna save Black America. Out here in the street with the people, fighting for the people, getting what they deserve, that's gonna help Black America. Doing what you're doing right now, coming out, not just sitting behind a computer, not just sitting behind YouTube, not just sitting behind Twitter, not just sitting behind Facebook, but being active, proactive. What are we doing? Are we putting pressure on our congressmen and our senators? And here we are here to say, as Brother Ty just mentioned, it's not just no reparations, no vote. We're saying that if a politician does not have a reparation agenda, they don't deserve our vote.
Justin, can we have another round of applause for Brother Rashad Singleton? Did he say anything that was not true? Anything at all?
No, sir.
If he did, come up here and tell us right now what he said wrong.
We on code, brother. We on code.
Okay. This is not about who controls the movement. This is about we have to keep it moving forward all the way to the end. This is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to talk about. We don't want to hear this anymore. Another thing that we always hear is that it's not coming from us. It's not coming out of our taxes. Well, our next speaker is going to debunk that and drop kick it right out the water. This has nothing to do with anybody's damn tax dollars. Have you seen where your tax dollars go or what they're used for? Well, you're about to learn about it. You're about to find out. Our next speaker is our brother Josh from Be the Power. You come on up here, brother Josh, and you hold that down, bro.
Let's go. Let's wake it up, Josh. Let's wake it up.
Peace, 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 family.
Peace, bro.
Man, y'all had me come behind. I'm not 7 feet. You know, my voice don't carry that much, but I appreciate it. I got to give it back to my brother Rashad. Where's Rashad at? Everybody give it up for Rashad. So, first off, let me say this. Let me start with this. Reparations is a debt owed. Reparations is a debt owed. Y'all say debt owed. It's a debt owed. It is not a handout. Reparations is a debt owed. Guess what? A debt owed and reneged on is still a debt owed. A debt owed and procrastinated on is still a what? Thank you. So when you look at this city of Washington, D.C., like the brother Rashad said, you can look around and see the debt that's owed. The United States Capitol was built by slave labor. They still got the contracts on the books. You go in the Capitol, they show the stone. Who you think was doing all that? You think the people that was lazy, that won't try to do no work, was building all that? We'll hear something like, well, my family won't never slave. I mean, our family I ain't never owned no slaves, and you won't never slave. Y'all ever heard that? But if you even are entertaining the topic of reparations, reparations has the word repair built into the word. So you're acknowledging that something was broken. Now who done it? Who done it? America. So there is where we place our claim. We don't place our claim with the city or the state because they can't pay. We place our claim with the United States Congress because that's who has the unlimited capacity to pay. Let's just keep it official. Your tax dollars do not pay for anything in the federal government. That's not how this works. How this works is this. All spending is new spending. This is something that politicians are not going to tell you about. They don't want to tell you about this. They don't want you to understand how the system really works, because if you understood it, they couldn't get by with making the excuses that we make. Well, how are we going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it? You don't want that to... Tell me the last time you looked at your taxes and it was itemized: Afghanistan, Ukraine, all these expenditures, COVID. That's not how your tax bill comes. You just pay.
Break it up.
We're not in debt to China. China wants to do business here. They got an account here. We help them do the accounting. That's it. We don't owe China. So who are we in debt to? The vast majority, if you look at the federal deficit, as they say, the deficit and the surplus or whatever, anytime you see we're in surplus, people are hurting. The federal deficit is what they spend. The deficit, that's what they spend. So who are they spending it on? That's money that they put out for the citizens. Internally, if they got debt, okay, that's because you done spent the money. So what we're saying is, if you're spending this money, where's our share at? You got people that are able to come to America already rich with millions of dollars or billions of dollars, and guess what? They can still get a minority. They can still get access to stuff for minorities. How are you a minority? Okay, and also minority can include white women. It can include, I'm guessing now, it can include what? Gay white men? So basically you have to be even if you're a crippled white, you have to be a able-bodied, straight white man. That's the only person that don't qualify for minority. So even a person from the Middle East is white. Now they're trying to reclassify as what? Middle East and North African. I don't blame them. But guess what they'll be able to do? Qualify as a minority. this whole minority thing, it gotta go away, man. It's a farce. This don't refer to black folks as especially American freedmen as no minorities and no people of color and all of that stuff. We gotta get out of these terms. By the United States federal government via an act of Congress utilizing their fiscal agent, the Federal Reserve, to pay the debt. And how much is the debt? How much is the debt? Well, currently the gap in wealth between black Americans and white Americans, we're using those two groups just because those are the only two groups here at the time of slavery and until the 60s. And who is to get the debt? American freedmen is to be paid. Prior to the Immigration Act, that was all the black folks that was here. It was over 99%. So that gap in wealth, it comes to about, let's just say 16 trillion. Or give or take, 16, 20, whatever it comes to, right? That can be paid, and it can be paid without causing hyperinflation. The government just has to commit to do it, just like they doing it with Ukraine, just like they pay trillions to give reconstruction to Afghanistan and reconstruction to Iraq. We need reconstruction to the American freedmen again. We never got reconstruction. We never got reconstruction. The Civil War, American freedmen saved the nation. Every war after that, American freedmen served. And now, American freedmen are here to save the nation again. And you have to give reparations to save this nation. You have to. Otherwise, it's going to be a sharp decline, and you will not stand on the principles in your founding document. So with that, I'm going to give it back to Brother Ty Harper. Where you at, Brother Ty?
If they can find money for this pandemic and they claim they had no money for nothing, why are they keep claiming that they can't find money for reparations? Everybody talks about the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Do you know that there was only one of 29 towns that they burnt down or destroyed? When they call about racial rioting, there wasn't any goddamn riots, there were massacres. Did you know that there were enough on a reparations platform? Sister, bring that sign up. Let them see this sign. We have this man. We have Marcel Dixon, who ran against Fish Fry Jim Clyburn.
Hold the sign, hold the sign.
And they tried every dirty trick in the book to stop it. All they did was postpone the inevitable. We have people running across the country. We're starting to run our own candidates. We're looking to start our own caucus. And everybody that comes here gets to leapfrog us. No more. That ends, that stops today. If someone is an ally, you got to prove you're an ally. You no longer get our support. We had 1,000 Iranians when we were at the summit in Atlanta, walking by saying, we have something going on there, we need your support. And we looked at him like, why should we support you? And I kid you not, he says, we're minorities too. Normally I try to stay calm, but everybody that was there will attest, I lost it. I blacked. I was about to jump down there, punch the first 3 in their face, the other 1,000 had me. Wake it up! Okay? But we're American freedmen. That's who we are, that's what we do. If you're afraid to stand 10 toes down for what you want, you're shaming our ancestors. And if we would be having this discussion, we'd be off on our side, you'd be off on your side, everybody would be happy or not. But I recently found out that they're not teaching any of this in school. I had a friend who lives in Florida. Her family members got on the phone call or did a Zoom call with me and said they had their white friends and said, we just learned about convict leasing. Did you know about that? I'm like, of course I did. You just learned about that? His father and his mother said, we didn't know about that either. They actually did that? I'm like, no offense, they're doing it now. If you get arrested, the 13th Amendment allows for slavery still if you're a prisoner. The state owns you. And that's just not in big boy prison, that's in the juvenile system also. Until they can get you in the big boy system. So let's stop this stuff that's separating us. Let's all pull together. Seriously. I don't care if you're an Israelite. I don't care if you're a Moor. I don't care if you're a Mormon. I don't care if you're a Christian. We're all black American freedmen. We can all do this now, get our reparations, and we can figure this out as we go along. I don't care what your sexual orientation is, and let's be honest, why are we even talking about that? We got bigger damn fish to fry.
Right.
This is a hand. These things on my hand are called what? Fingers. What happens when you close all those fingers? They make a fist. I want everybody to make a fist and say, reparations now. Reparations now. Reparations now. I want everybody to consider, if you can or if you can't, moving back to the South and the Black Belt to the States, just like we've been discussing on BDP. This is what we want to do. If you want real political power, notice that anywhere the Asians move, there's a Chinatown, there's a Koreatown. They don't even have to vote because they have economic power. Latinos master this. They move into one area, they get a bunch in, they build up political sway, they take over the area. To be honest, I'm not mad at them because we should have been doing it.
Right.
The Panthers were doing it. The old school NOI was doing it. They were infiltrated, they were destroyed, and now we just have the shell of what you see now. And most importantly, I don't want to hear crap about, oh, we can't carry guns. White people don't want us to carry guns. Ask me if I care. I have a permit to carry in 39 goddamn states. This one, obviously not. Yeah, this is what we need to do. The Second Amendment, just like all the amendments of the United States Constitution, are made for American citizens. And what the hell are we? We are American citizens. So says the Constitution.
We're going to follow suit. Reparations is not a handout. Reparations is not the end-all be-all to end racism. Reparations, simply put, is a debt owed to the specific group of people that built this country for free. It's 244 years of unpaid labor wages, recompense for the denial of the GI Bill and the Homestead Act. It's equity that has been robbed and stolen from us and our ancestors. By all means, work hard and pull yourself up by your bootstraps to get where you want to be. But don't you ever forget that this country owes us, period. And don't ever forget that what it has done to us by robbing us of our inheritance. Black American descendants of chattel slavery, right? I want to hone in for a second on how the miseducation of us and everyone in this country has opened the floodgates to people disrespecting our lineage. We have to stop letting people treat us as if they have been in this country for 400 years, being oppressed and denigrated. No one has done more for this country than we have. I have family on both sides that fought in every single war. And I didn't even know that until I did my genealogy.
Black power! Black power! Black power! I'm not going to be in front of you long, because I'm not going to lie, I'm pissed off. I'm tired of these divisive, shade tree ass niggas. I'm tired of people talking about we got to go about it the right way. We got to talk to this politician. It's been 500 years, black people. When are you going to stand up? If the white man, this white man system wanted to give us $1, they would have gave it to us about 160 years ago. So what you going to do? They don't even have a piece of legislation right now that represents us. They got that same bull crap that the DNC feeds us, talking about a conversation. It ain't take a conversation for the Ukraine. It didn't take a conversation for slave owners to get money. But black folks, we're so easily pacified. And if this is the country we built, how can we not take what we deserve? People talking to me about equality, and no, equality's a myth. I don't need to be the same as a white man. Give me my access. Give me my equity. Cut me a damn check. I don't know how you've been rocked to sleep. How you think posting on social media and having kitchen table conversations is going to get us where we need to be? It's not enough. People who talk about, let's go about it the right way. Let's negotiate. Let's talk about it intellectually. You want to know why they kept us in slavery so long? Because politicians gonna save us? Thinking these Twitter space rooms are gonna help us? Please, some of y'all won't buzz a grape in a fruit fight, but you tweet all day long. I've been head-to-head with law enforcement. I'm on every alphabet boys list. And I'm still out here saying, fuck this country and give me my damn money.
because I deserve it. I'm a black woman in this country. I built this country. My ancestors built this country. I don't know what was before the slave boat. What I do know is who my black people are. Black people, put yourself first. Why whenever we stand up, we gotta be like the brown people, the this people, the that people. When they was cutting their checks, did they shout us out? Did they say, hey, come along, give the black people something? Hell no. They attach themselves to our movement, get what they need, and tell us F us. Now it's time for us to tell everybody, F them. Cut the check, be black first. We freedmen, right? We the ancestors. We some ass kickers, some overcomers. Why did you become docile? The smartest thing those white supremacists ever did was to teach you that you didn't have power. People out here talking about, don't march, don't do this, don't burn it down. You know what? When I marched for a year, I got 4 laws passed. I fed 70,000 people. I opened up my own school. I didn't like the way the white man was teaching my kids, so I have a Montessori school. Do something. No one's coming to save you. And then be mindful of these shade tree coon-ass niggas. All buttoned up, shucking and jiving, trying to take a picture in the White House. Please. We have our own towns. We have our own cities. Stop begging a white man. That's what I like about reparations. It's a debt owed. That ain't no damn handout. If you gave me my check, I'll buy some boots and I'll pull myself up. You can't ask a man to pull himself up by the bootstraps if he don't got no damn boots. But that's enough for me. My name is Shavonna Newsom. Yes, co-founder of Black Opportunities and a certified black woman. Come see me in these streets.
Black power. Black power. What I'm supposed to say after that? The mic smoking hot. She done burnt it down. How I'ma follow? I think the only adequate way to follow that is to salute the black woman. I'm not just talking about, oh, let's raise up the system, the sisters. No, stop being fucking sexist. Brothers ain't clapping for that. Stop being sexist. These women know just as much as us. In the last 6 years I've been out here fighting in the streets, they've been a lot harder than us. Because we've been in wars. Okay? Say what you want about what I used to be a part of, but we was in wars. We was in Charlottesville fighting them crackers hand to hand. We was in Minnesota getting it popping. Trump supporters came through New York, we shut them down and got arrested for it, and counterterrorism came to my jail cell. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, because it ain't nothing soft about this. This is a sucker-free movement. When you see these moves, when you see these wolves, you know we coming with strength and power and not a damn to give about anybody standing in our way. So when we set our eyes on reparations, best believe we gonna get there. Teaching our people all the time in the streets. So now we sitting back and we looking at how people used and abused our movements. This last movement, it wasn't the only one abused. They co-opted the civil rights movement. They co-opted all the other movements. They had COINTELPRO. So when we sit back and look like, okay, what direction we going in, it's always liberation. But Brother Rashad had a long conversation with me about reparation. So when we go out in the streets, when a cop killed one of us, we're gonna say justice and reparations. When them slumlords got our people living in insane, heinous conditions, deplorable conditions, we're gonna say better housing and reparations. On Hulu, you saw him fighting for his deceased wife, for his love, for his kid. When we gonna say black women's maternal health, we gonna say, and reparations. We gonna keep reparations as a running motherfucking theme. I ain't out here to sweet talk. Yeah, I got a business degree, I got a law degree, but I'm a nigga. I'm a nigga who don't care about this system. So when you come upon me, you're gonna get this energy every time. And I ain't sugarcoating it. I don't have time to sugarcoat it. I ain't talking to nobody else, I'm talking to my people. If you're not standing on a corner in your hood, teaching about reparations, fighting for your reparations, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're on Twitter, if you're in Twitter groups, and everybody here is this or that. I do not care. I'm in the streets. I'm in the slums with those who are looked down upon, just like my Lord and Savior, Black Jesus. Elevating them. So if you're talking about reparations, it got to be a street movement. It ain't a social media movement. It ain't a spin all day in a goddamn Twitter chat movement. No, nigga, go get you some groceries, get you some information, print it out, get on the corner and teach your people. And you'll be surprised when you're out there teaching them, they're gonna come to you with their problems. You are smart and educated. You know how to solve those problems. Help them. Organize them. Stop playing around. So I tell you what, they just killed a freedman. His name is Jaheim McMillan. They shot that little brother in the head, a 15-year-old baby in Gulfport, Mississippi. So November 15th, we taking about 500 guns and we going to march on that precinct. And the call gonna be justice of reparations. The question gonna be is you gonna be sitting back chilling on the front line, ready for whatever the fuck happens. Put our lives on this. Put my life on this. And I'm out after this. We get investigated. We get followed. Yeah, that's cool. But how many of us had the sitting president point at them and say, you're guilty of treason, sedition, and insurrection? We did. We did. We did. They was coming for us to put us in Guantanamo Bay. Why though? Why? Because we said if we don't get what we want, we will burn this country down. And said it on a cracker-ass news network and said it with a straight face and a strong chest. The time for games is over. The time for games is over. I know I said that was my last point. I got one more. See that reparations no vote thing? I mean that shit. No reparations, I ain't voting. No reparations, yeah, I'll hold it up. Reparations, no vote. Right? Right? That's what we talking about. 6 years ago, we said, you know what? If the Democrats don't meet our wishes, we'll give the country to Donald Trump. And you know what? A lot of people hated Donald Trump, but I loved him for the headaches he gave white liberals. White liberals who really don't care about us. Nope. I can't stand the Republicans, but I'd rather an enemy that I know they're my enemy than an enemy that pretends to be my friends and give me nothing in return. So when I say no reparations, no vote, it's not ignorant. I am college and law school educated. I have 15 years political consulting experience. Fuck them. We carry them. Our vote is our currency, and you are giving them your currency for nothing. For nothing. You run and vote, and you shuck and you jive. Oh, I'm a revolutionary, I ain't shucking and jiving. If you voted for Joe Biden with no good reason on that day in November, you was a shucking and jiving ass nigga. And that's on everything holy.
They would never step on this stage after the brothers and sisters that are speaking today have spoken. Do you understand? We cannot be afraid of our reparations. We cannot be afraid of making these demands. Do you understand that? I don't hear you talking back to me, family. What's going on? We don't live in fear. And if you are fearful, please take a seat over there in the back somewhere. This is not about being fearful. First of all, they're saying buy black will close the racial wealth gap. I have been an entrepreneur all of my life, pretty much. And that's not going to close the racial wealth gap. We still have to buy many of our supplies from the distributor that gets them from everywhere else. If you're talking about hair, this is my natural hair, but some sisters go and buy hair. Guess what? The distributors have shut these stores down that our brothers and sisters, American freedmen, go and purchase hair from. Sisters, we cannot continue to support anybody, as Brother Rashad had said, that are not supporting and full-throated for us. So let's stay out of their nail shops. Let's stay out of their hair and beauty salons. Let's do our own natural hair. Your hair is beautiful, whether you believe it or not. Do not allow people to tell you who you are. You tell you who you are. I see some beautiful brothers and sisters out here today. Natural hair. We don't sit there and have to support anything that's disrespecting us. That's part of the low self-esteem.
For me, reparations is important, but its greatest importance is standing next to me. There you go. This Roger. And so, the inheritance that her parents built for her is what sets her up for the future. And it was owed many, many generations ago. Believe me when I tell you. So this young lady right here is Saran. She's 6 years old. Would you like to say hello, Saran? Hi. Since 1865, that status is American freedmen. Tell them. So some of these myths that you hear, both on the right and the left, and you can hear them from white and black, pertain to why we have this racial wealth gap. And oftentimes, the fault of that is actually placed on the victim and not the victimizer, for lack of a better word. So, they decided to go to get rid of being employed by an employer and start your own business. That would be the recipe, or that would be the solution, rather, for the inequity that is recognized between white and black households, or freedmen and white households. But a lot of times their position is undergirded and covered up by giving us the idea that they own more than they do. As an example, most people thought that Jay-Z owned the Brooklyn Nets. That's the way it was perpetuated. Jay-Z went from Brooklyn, crack dealer from the streets, high school dropout, became a rapper, became successful in the music business, and ended up being an entrepreneur, bought a basketball team. What most people don't know is that Jay-Z only owned 1% of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the purchasing price of the Brooklyn Nets was $4.1 billion. I'm gonna leave it to y'all to do the math of what percent of that is, but 1% is not a lot. That's what we know. So what's happening is they are using black/freedmen, celebrities and faces for marketing. They cover it up. They want you to think at the end of the day that black people own this, that we're making advancements, when the reality is that these are spokespeople. That's what that is a spokesperson. They don't actually own the business. They don't own the distribution or the production. They own the face and the promotion, because they understand that these people are the people that you know, and these are the people that you likely will trust, and you'll buy into the product. That's what you're dealing with, okay? So the reality of the matter is 50 Cent with vitamin water. He only owned 10%. Vitamin water in 2007 was $300 million. 50 Cent didn't own 50% of the portion. He didn't own 70 or 90% of the portion. He owned 10%. That's the reality of the matter. Magic Johnson came out on HBO Real Sports. He said with regards to the Los Angeles Dodgers, if y'all from LA, y'all know what I'm talking about. Lived in LA, I lived there for 5.5 years. Magic Johnson, again, is a very, very small percentage owner. We're talking about in the single-digit percentages for a team that is worth $1 billion plus. So the reality of the matter is that with Magic Johnson's theater that's over here not too far from where the Redskins play, Magic Johnson owns into the corporations of Starbucks. He's a spokesperson. He does not actually own these businesses.
But they've been asking me for weeks and months on how do I feel about reparations, and that's why I'm here. We got to break the word down to repair. We got to repair a lot of things that have gone on in our society for hundreds of years, and we shouldn't be afraid to speak on it. And if anybody is mad at us for saying that people who have given so much to this country deserves to be repaired or fixed, then in my word, they're haters. Haters. And they hate that what has gone on in our ancestry is a problem. I don't really know what the actual solution is and how we're gonna come together and what that reparations would look like, but it's a lot of intelligent people out here that can come together and know that we know. So a city like this where we have so many resources, but we don't share them with one another. And we don't share them with the proper people who deserves the resources. So when I look at reparation, I look at sharing, caring, love, respect, and giving back to who fought for this country. We were put through a lot. Our ancestors, not only doing slavery, but also doing Jim Crow. I don't care where you are in the country, no ballot left behind. We are the most powerful people in the world. Let's start living like it, and let's start being like it, and let's start loving one another. So that's my speech for today. I don't have a speech in my pocket. I don't have a speech in my on a piece of paper. I just come from my heart. And if we all had that heart like we say we do, we're gonna start connecting through our hearts. So this building right here that they spend a lot of time in, which I won't be spending a lot of time in because I'm gonna have different locations in the city in every ward where my offices will be. Because I wanted to give back to our community. I think it's all about our community and being connected with our community, having field offices and really getting back. So thank y'all again. Thanks, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you calling me.
For coming out and listening. Listen, I'm here for a very specific reason. Again, my name is Attorney Reese Everson, and initially I was brought in because I thought we were having a reparations march, and I thought we were going to talk about 60 years and our update of where we should be in the last 60 years. And so I said, okay, cool. Let's do a report card for the United States of America where we are from the last 60 years. And so I said, okay, well, what's going on? I said, listen, Martin Luther King told you that 60 years ago, America gave you a voting rights bill. And they were proud of that. We had made progress. But guess what? There's a Supreme Court that's getting ready to take that back as we speak. And laughed at you. Okay, but it's not about us being black. See, this is the beauty of this community here, of learning about reparations. See, I had to come to understanding that our benchmark is wrong. We keep trying to give America a report card based on the 1960s and what we were supposed to get and what we groveled for and what we begged for and what we marched for and what we were hoping for in 1964. But the reality is that we already have an obligation. There's already something that you are owed, and that's from 1865. And so they have brainwashed you. They have got you so high on Percocet and Molly and all this other stuff that they get poisoning and pushing on our young people through our music and the culture that's not controlled by us, because we don't own any of the Warner Brother music and things of that nature. They are pushing a culture that keeps you in a haze and in a daze, so you don't understand that you're not even supposed to be effing with him to get some money. As a matter of fact, the money that your people are owed is from a debt that's from you supposedly believe that you are due. Baby, they already agreed to it. In 1865, they already passed the Act, H.R. actually passed. You have rights that are on the books right now. They're not you fighting about being whether you're a Moor and whether you're a black person, whether you're African American. HR 30 that's in Congress right now, they're not going to tell you this, but they're asking for reparations for African Americans. African Americans don't have a legal status in this country. You don't have any rights as an African American or a black or a Negro in this country. Dred Scott told you back in 1800, there is no right that the Negro has that America has to respect. So if you coming in there begging for something as a black person, you're gonna get nothing. They're gonna turn you away and send you back home. If you're coming in there as an African American, you're gonna get nothing. You're gonna be turned away and sent home. African American is not a status. Black is not a status. You owe nothing. It is not until you stand in the legacy of who you are and know your name. It is not until you know who you are and whose you are that you can ask for what you are due. When you decide, even when you call, I said to the guys on the call, I said, you know, I've never called myself a freedman before.
Come on, talk to him.
And I said, ooh, this feels luxurious. It's a whole different kind of feeling. When you stop being a nigga and you become a freedman, it's a whole different kind of feeling. When you stop being African American and become a freedman, you stand up a little taller, your shoulders get round. Baby, I'm a freedman. I wish you would talk to a freedman like that. That is not how a freedman conducts themselves in public. That is not something that a freedman is allowed to behave in their presence. I don't condone this behavior. I don't condone this mindset. It's a whole different ideology. Baby, I want you to wake up and tell them, I am a freedman. So that is what we are here for. I'm not here to give you a report card on 1964 and whether Martin Luther King was successful and we just got to keep taking baby steps and hoping the Democrats will give us another crumb and take baby steps and hoping we get another crumb. No, what we are here for has already been guaranteed to us. That bill was already passed. That legislation has already, so it's literally ours for the taking. When we have a conversation with people, they're looking at us and laughing because we're like, oh, we want reparations for black people. We want reparations for African Americans. We want to do a study about whether there should be reparations. I don't need to study whether there should be reparations and set aside $12 million for all the friends of the black people in D.C. to study and come up with all. I don't need any of that. I can go and pull up the records. The historical records are in the National Archives. Pull up HR 213. Not only were you supposed, let me tell you what you were supposed to get in case you don't have time to read. So the bill is for the emancipated freedmen, some refugees, and abandoned lands. When there was a war between the American government and the Confederates, people said, and the Confederates decided, if we have to give up our slaves, we don't even want to be Americans. Right. We're going to walk away from America. And they said, okay. The government said, you know what? You walk away from this land, we're going to give it to these freedmen. And that's in the bill. They declared that the land that had been abandoned by the Confederates and anybody who fought for the Confederacy was to be given to the freedmen. Then there's another part that says they can allocate and they can commandeer more land to give it to the freedmen. You're supposed to have 40 acres and a mule. That is on paper. That is not something somebody thought about or said. It's a myth, it's a phrase. We like the way it sounds. That is what you are due, period, as a freedman. So then we go, well then, all right, what about if, there's a problem, because, when we get nice things, people gonna be mad. There's some haters. Well, guess what? HR 51 goes in and says, not only that, but this law is created under the Department of War of the United States of America, and that for 3 years, the U.S. military has to protect the freedmen and their land.
My name is Brother Naheem. This is my brother Ali. We are co-founders of Be the Power and the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. Everybody got up here today and did an excellent job. I would like for you all to give all of our speakers a round of applause. I don't have much to say. Everybody said everything that needed to be said. And my role, a part of my role is to be a facilitator in this whole movement, to try to bring all the pieces to this puzzle together. That listen to us on Twitter Spaces, you know that we push for certain strategies. And one of those strategies is a Black South strategy, where we're asking our people in the North to move back to places like Maryland and Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. I may be forgetting one or two. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, we can take the power in our own hands. It's as simple as that, family. I don't have much to say. I'm gonna let my brother Ali go in. Thank you all for coming out, man. I appreciate each and every last one of you, but I will end with our platform's motto, which is, don't just fight the power, become the power. And then and only then will you have the power to make a change. And with that, I say peace.
Peace. Peace, family. I didn't really prepare to speak, right? But there's something that I noticed and I wanted you guys to also notice. Right here was buried a time capsule by Miss Coretta Scott King. Right here. There, you can see it on the ground. So we're in the place that we need to be. Right. This is Freedom Plaza. Right. And what they did was they quoted, if you look at it, a part of one of Dr. King's speeches that's engraved here. And he's talking about the American dream. That American dream that he's talking about is freedom. But it's freedom that was rooted in the promises and in the principles of liberty enshrined in the Declaration of Independence. So this is what we're talking about. That declaration, it is very important as reparationists that we understand the importance of the Declaration of Independence. That declaration said that those principles of liberty were for all men, and that all men had the right to life and the pursuit of happiness. It used to say the pursuit of property. Originally it said the pursuit of happiness, life, and property. Check. Mic check. Mic check. Okay. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Yeah. We about to get it going real quick with my brother Rashad. We're talking reparations. We got a few chants that I had in my mind. The first chant is called reparations now, not tomorrow now. Reparations now, not tomorrow now. Reparations now, not tomorrow now. No tangibles, no vote. Hey! No tangibles, no vote. I got another one too. You can't stop the revolution. 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 All right, let's get it going. Not tomorrow now. Reparations now. Not tomorrow now. Reparations now. Not tomorrow now. I said reparations now. Not tomorrow now. I said reparations now. Not tomorrow now. Make that straighter. Make the banner straighter. Hey. No changeables, no vote. 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 Reparations now. Not tomorrow now. Reparations now. Not tomorrow now. Reparations now. Not tomorrow now. You
tomorrow now. Reparations now, not tomorrow now. No tangibles, no vote. No tangibles, no vote. No tangibles, no vote. Not tomorrow now. Reparations now, not tomorrow now. Reparations now, no tangibles, no vote. Hey, hey, ho, ho. No tangibles, no vote. Hey, hey, ho, ho. No tangibles, no vote. Hey, hey, ho, ho. No tangibles, no vote. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
No tangibles, no vote.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. No tangibles, no vote. Hey, hey, ho, ho. No tangibles, no vote.
You can't stop the revolution!
You slowing down, that's why I said
You can't stop the revolution! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! No tangibles, no vote! Not tomorrow now! 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 Can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! No tangibles, no vote! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
No tangibles, no vote.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! No tangibles, no vote! 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 You can't stop the revolution! 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 You can't stop the revolution!
Reparations now,
Not tomorrow now!
reparations now,
Not tomorrow now!
reparations now,
Not tomorrow now!
reparations now.
Not tomorrow now!
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
No tangibles, no vote.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! No tangibles, no vote!
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
No tangibles, no vote!
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
No tangibles, no vote!
Reparations now,
Not tomorrow now!
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 reparations now.
Not
tomorrow now.
Reparations now.
Not tomorrow now.
Reparations now.
Not tomorrow now.
We outside.
We outside.
We outside.
We outside.